Tonight, Kingston's ship comes in. More on the breach that forced Hydro One to cut power to thousands, and getting an early start on a potential career in skilled trades.
From Global Kingston, this is CKWS News at 6.
Good evening. Hundreds gathered along Kingston's waterfront today as Kingston's ship finally came in. Here's a bird's eye view of the SS Keewatin as she was being towed towards the Great Lakes Museum during the noon hour. This completes a 2-day voyage from Hamilton. This drone footage gives you a sense of the size of this vessel. The Titanic-era steamship was carefully maneuvered into the Ontario Street dry dock with just a few feet to spare and will soon take her place as one of Kingston's new attractions. Bill Hutchins is standing by live at the Great Lakes Museum with more on Keewatin's arrival. Bill.
Well, ahoy, Shauna. Good evening. No more waiting for the Keewatin here. Yes, this magnificent vessel, all 102 meters of it, now docked right beside the Great Lakes Museum. And as Paul Soucy reports, a big crowd gathered dockside earlier today to see the Key.
I've been waiting for this ship since the spring.
And so have all these people. Hundreds of onlookers gathered on the shores of Lake Ontario in Kingston this afternoon as the SS Keewatin made its long-awaited arrival to the Limestone City.
This thing here has got such historical value in Canada, especially the Great Lakes. I had to come down and see it. It's a beautiful ship.
Took a trip down from Gananoque just to see the ship come in.
Takes you back in time, right?
The Titanic-era ship left Hamilton 2 days ago, pulled by 2 tugboats, heading on its final journey as a permanent attraction of the Great Lakes Museum. Its arrival is a long time coming for those who worked years to bring the ship here from its previous home on the shores of Georgian Bay.
Now she's here to glorify this site and be just a jewel in the landscape, the waterfront landscape of Kingston.
And a unique work of art, both inside and out. And we are honored to have her here.
The century-old steamship brought people from all across the region, snapping pictures of this piece of maritime history. These 2 men worked on the Keewatin in the 1960s when it plied the Great Lakes. One of them was the ship's last owner before selling it to the Kingston Museum.
Unbelievable that this ship is in this location in Kingston. The tie-in with Canadian Pacific and this town with Canadian Pacific.
Getting the Key into the historic dry dock went smoothly, though it's a very tight fit. Now that the ship has arrived, more restoration work will take place before sightseers can board the vessel next spring.
It's transformational. We expect, quite realistically, to be among the top 3-4 tourist attractions in Kingston, and Kingston is a big tourist town.
And judging by the onshore turnout, it's sure to be a popular attraction. Paul Soucy, Global News, Kingston.
Well, thank you, Paul. And joining us now is Chris West, chair of the Great Lakes Museum. Congratulations are in order, I guess.
Thank you very, very, very much.
This is quite the jewel in your crown. Talk about what it means to have an attraction like this for the museum and the city.
Usually we say we're in the business of preserving history at the museum. Today I'm saying we're making history. It's transformative for the museum, of course. We are scaling up in a major way. We are bringing an attraction for the tourism industry in Kingston that will be a really meaningful contributor. And I would suggest, without any undue modesty, we'll be there in the same gang as the Penn Tours, Fort Henry, the boat lines, that sort of numbers we're looking at.
Talk about the long process to get the Key here and how much has been spent so far to get it in ship shape.
Well, that's a good question. We've invested a little over $2 million so far, but we've raised more, and there's more work to be done. The vital work that had to be done was to stop the water getting into a ship. Water on the outside of the vessel is wonderful. It keeps us afloat. but it was coming in through the promenade decks into the cabins, and water damage in the beautiful old heritage woodwork, imagine, and the ladies' lounge.
Well, you can't have water in the ladies' lounge.
Can't have water in the ladies' lounge.
Now, Mr. West, there were naysayers going back a couple of years, some on your own board, as I recall, who did not want this ship here, fearing that it could be a money pit. What would you say to them?
Any old ship could be a money pit. We struck a due diligence committee to look into that. The great fear was this will sink the museum. We're taking on something that is a money pit. We finally came up with a determination and went to the board and said, we're only going to accept this ship if it comes with $5 million of support. We had to find that money. We had to go out and fundraise it, and we did. And we had calculated with our business plan, sure, we may not break even in the first season, but once you start to hit significant numbers, as these other attractions do, and this will, you're sustainable financially.
For those who haven't seen the interior, talk about that. Describe it for us. I guess elegance comes to mind.
You enter the ship, and soon enough, you're in the area where you see the grand mahogany-lined staircase, and you say, "Oh my! Am I in a movie or am I in a dream from something like the Titanic?" It's that grand. It's beautiful, hand-hewn woodwork and a scrolling staircase with the brass work. You get to the dining room. It's extremely elegant. It's really, really glamorous. It takes you back to another age.
Talk about the plan now to open it for public tours. When will that happen? How much will the tickets be?
Haven't got the exact price point for the tickets, but it will be competitive with other attractions in the city. Keep posted. Go to our website, marmuseum.ca, marmuseum.ca, and get updates on the tickets and when they're going to be available.
Now, quickly, could this open as a B&B or even for afternoon tea?
Down the line, everything's possible, but we have to go in stages. First, we open her up as a conventional attraction, but it will be an event space for sure, for sure, for sure.
All right, Chris West, Chair of the Great Lakes Museum. Again, congratulations and thanks for speaking with us.
Thank you very much. We open in May.
In May. Okay, so circle that date on your calendars. Go to their website to get tickets and more information on the ticket prices. Again, thank you, Mr. West. Shauna, in a city that's filled with historic architecture and attractions, you can add another one to the collection. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Bill.